What if your cat has been trying to tell you something important every single day, and you have been completely missing it? Not because you do not care, but because nobody ever told you what your cat truly believes you are. And once you find out, the way you see every moment with your cat will change forever. Most cat owners spend years living beside their cats, feeding them, playing with them, loving them, and still never fully understanding what is happening inside that quiet, mysterious mind. Your cat looks at you every single day with those steady, unreadable eyes, and somewhere behind that gaze is a belief about you that is older than language, older than domestication, older than anything science could have predicted. And it is not what you think. Let us start at the very beginning, with what your cat actually sees when they look at you. You might assume your cat sees an owner, maybe a caretaker, perhaps even someone in charge. But animal behaviorist John Bradshaw, who dedicated years of his life to studying the way cats interact with the humans they live with, discovered something that completely shifted the way scientists think about this relationship. Cats, unlike dogs, never developed a separate category in their minds for humans. Dogs evolved alongside us for so long that they learned to read our faces, follow our pointing fingers, and adjust their behavior specifically for us. They built an internal model of what a human is. Cats never did that, and that is not a flaw. It is actually something far more intimate. When your cat approaches you and presses the side of their face against your leg, they are not performing a greeting they reserved for their human. They are doing the exact same thing they would do with a cat they trust. When they groom your hand or push their forehead into yours, that is cat-to-cat communication. Pure and unfiltered. In their mind, there is no version of you that belongs to a different species. You are simply a member of their world. A very large, very clumsy, not particularly graceful member of their colony, but a member nonetheless. And here is why that matters more than most people realize. To be included in a cat's social world is not something they do automatically or out of obligation. Cats are not wired to bond with just anyone who fills their bowl. They are selective, emotionally complex creatures who choose their connections carefully. So when your cat treats you the way they would treat another cat, they are not being indifferent. They are giving you something they do not give to everyone. They are giving you equality. They are pulling you into their world rather than standing on the outside of yours. That belief your cat holds about you, that you belong to their world, does not stop at how they greet you. It runs much deeper than that. It actually shapes the way their entire nervous system responds to your presence. But we will come back to that because what researchers discovered about this connection is one of the most surprising things in all of cat science, and it deserves its own moment. First, let us talk about the dead mouse. If your cat has ever dropped something at your feet, whether it was a bird, a small animal, or a toy, and then simply stared at you with that patient, expectant expression, you probably felt a mix of things. Surprise, maybe a little guilt, possibly some confusion about what exactly you were supposed to do next. Most people laugh it off or push it away and move on. But what if that moment was one of the most genuine acts of care your cat has ever shown you? In the wild, mother cats do not simply bring food back to their kittens and walk away. They bring back prey that is sometimes still alive, not out of carelessness, but because they are teaching. They are showing their young how to recognize prey, how to interact with it, how to eventually learn the skill of hunting for themselves. It is one of the most fundamental ways a mother cat says, "I love you," by making sure you will survive without her. Now think about your cat. They watch you every single day. They observe your routine with those sharp, motion-sensitive eyes. And from their perspective, what do they see? They see someone who never hunts, someone who never chases, someone who walks to a large cold box, opens it, and somehow produces food from inside it. To a cat, that is genuinely baffling. You are not demonstrating any survival skill they recognize. And rather than deciding you are beyond help, they step in. They try to show you. They bring you something and set it in front of you and wait, because that is what you do when someone you care about does not yet know how to take care of themselves. You teach them. Some cats bring prey that is already gone. Others bring something still moving because that is closer to a real lesson. And cats who live entirely indoors will sometimes bring toys, dropping them at your feet and making a sound that is somewhere between a meow and a chirp, which is their version of saying, "Look, here, try this." Pay attention to the difference. If your cat drops something and then goes still, watching you closely, they are in teaching mode. If they drop something and immediately start bouncing around with their tail up, they want to play. But either way, they chose you. Out of every corner of the house, every quiet spot they could have gone alone, they came to you. And that is worth pausing on. Now, let us talk about something that will change the way you look at your cat the next time you sit across from them. Your cat cannot see your face clearly. Not in the way you might imagine. Anything closer than about 10 inches in front of their face exists in a soft, undefined blur. So every time you lean in close and hold your face near theirs, searching for some kind of recognition, some acknowledgement in their eyes, your face is not crisp and detailed to them. It is a warm, rounded shape with no sharp edges. A presence rather than a picture. And it does not get dramatically sharper with distance either. The world your cat lives in is one of gentle outlines and soft focus, where fine details matter far less than movement, shadow, and silhouette. This is why your cat will sometimes sit in front of a treat you are holding at eye level and sniff the air around it without ever quite landing on it. Their eyes simply are not built for close-range precision. What they are built for is something entirely different and extraordinarily powerful. Cats are motion specialists. Their eyes can detect the smallest, fastest shift in the environment with a level of sensitivity that human vision cannot come close to matching. A finger twitching behind a curtain. A shadow moving at the edge of the room. The slight change in your posture that happens before you stand up. Your cat sees all of it and they process it instantly. So how does your cat recognize you if not by your face? They recognize you through the feeling of you, the specific rhythm of your footsteps, the particular way you move through a room, the sound of your voice, even at a distance, and perhaps most powerfully, your scent. Cats have a sense of smell that is roughly 14 times stronger than a human's, and they use that sense to build a complete internal portrait of the people they trust. Your cat does not carry an image of you. They carry something richer. They carry your entire presence, wrapped in memory and association, recognized not through their eyes, but through something deeper. This brings us to something that most cat owners have never considered, and once you hear it, you will probably never look at your cat meowing at you the same way again. Adult cats do not meow at each other. This is not a small detail. This is one of the most quietly remarkable things about the relationship between cats and humans. In the wild, in colonies, in multi-cat households when humans are not watching, cats communicate through body language, through scent markers, through soft chirps and slow blinks, and the precise positioning of their tails. Meowing, the sound you hear from your cat constantly, is something they essentially stopped doing after kittenhood. Kittens meow because they have to. It is how they call for their mother when they are hungry, when they are cold, when they are lost or frightened. It is a survival sound. And as they grow and no longer need that kind of calling, most cats let it go. Except for one situation. Except for you. Your cat noticed something early on in your relationship. They noticed that you are not fluent in the language they naturally use. You do not consistently respond to the slow blink that means they feel safe with you. You miss the tail held upright that means they are happy to see you. You walk right past the subtle lean that means they want your attention. You are, from a cat's point of view, communicatively limited. And instead of simply accepting that gap, your cat did something extraordinary. They reached back into their earliest memory of how to be heard, and they brought that sound forward into adulthood, shaping it specifically for you. What is even more remarkable is that your cat's meow is not a single, universal sound they use for everything. Over time, living with you, they develop a vocabulary that is unique to the two of you. The sound they make when they want food is different from the sound they make when they want to sit near you. The sound at 3 in the morning when they simply want you awake is different from the sound at the door when they want to move to another room. These are not random variations. They are a language that grew out of your specific relationship. A language that would not exist if you had never met. When your cat meows at you, that sound is not something they do for any other creature on earth. It was built for you, shaped by you, kept alive because of you. That is not just sweet. That is genuinely astonishing. And now, the part of this that everything else has been building toward. Think about a moment when you walked into a room where your cat was resting. Not to feed them, not to play, just walked in and sat nearby. And in response, your cat did something almost imperceptible. Their muscles softened. Their ears shifted from slightly forward to gently relaxed. Their eyes, which had been open and alert, went half-closed, heavy and slow, like the effort of keeping them fully open was suddenly no longer necessary. You probably did not think much of it in the moment. Cats fall asleep easily. They relax all the time. But what if what you witnessed was not just tiredness? What if you were watching something scientific? In 2019, researchers at Oregon State University designed a study specifically to measure the way cats emotionally respond to the humans they live with. They placed cats in a room that was unfamiliar to them, with their owner present. Then the owner left for 2 minutes. Then the owner came back. And what the researchers observed during that return moment revealed something that completely changed the scientific conversation around cats. More than 60% of the cats in that study showed what behavioral researchers call a secure attachment style. When the owner returned, those cats visibly settled. Their stress behaviors faded. They began exploring the room with confidence they had not shown while the owner was gone. They went back to being calm, curious, and at ease. Without their owner, they had been vocal, tense, and withdrawn, searching the unfamiliar space for something they could not find. And the moment that something returned, their entire nervous system reset. Psychologists recognize this pattern immediately. It is the same attachment response that human infants show with their primary caregivers. The same emotional architecture, the same wiring. A baby left in an unfamiliar space will cry and search and reach. A baby whose caregiver returns will settle, relax, and begin to engage with the world again. Your cat is running that same ancient, deeply rooted program, and you are the one at the center of it. Come back now to what we said at the beginning. Your cat does not see you as a human. They see you as a fellow cat, a member of their colony, a being who belongs to the same world they do. That belief, that quiet, unspoken categorization they made somewhere in the early days of knowing you, does not stay in the realm of greeting behavior or play behavior or the way they rub against you. It flows all the way into their nervous system. It becomes the thing that tells their body whether the environment is safe or not, whether they can rest or whether they need to stay alert, whether the world is manageable or overwhelming. You are not just someone they live with. You are the signal their body uses to understand whether everything is okay. You are the presence that gives their stress response permission to stand down. You are the thing their instincts reach for when something feels unfamiliar or uncertain. Your cat does not need you to understand every signal they send. They do not need you to be fluent in slow blinks and tail positions, though learning those things is never wasted. They do not need you to always know what they want or to respond perfectly in every moment. What the science shows, what their behavior reveals, what all of it points toward is something simpler and more powerful than any of that. They just need you to be there. Because somewhere inside your cat's understanding of the world, you are not a human, not an owner, not a caretaker in the traditional sense. You are something their nervous system recognizes as safe. You are something their instincts trust. You are the presence that takes an unfamiliar room and makes it navigable. You are the thing that turns uncertainty into rest. In a language that has no words, in a bond that does not require explanation, your cat has decided that wherever you are is where they belong, and that, more than anything else they could ever show you, is what you truly are to them.